Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. We got a lot that we need to discuss today, a lot that we need to talk about that is happening and getting ready to happen. Some of which you may have actually heard about already, but odds are some of these things, this is gonna be the first time you've heard about them. My name is Kevin, Kevin in all caps, youtube.com/@Kevin247. I'm gonna make this quick because I gotta get ready to get out of here, take my kid to school, and also get ready because we've got some family coming into town to spend time with us for her birthday. We need to get everything situated, ready to go for them, and really looking forward to that. On the list today of some of this crazy stuff that's starting to happen. Banks are closing, obviously, we know that, but more to it, and which banks and the volume, the sheer volume of which how many banks are closing is remarkable. Walmart makes a huge change, and this prompts boycott initiatives, and they are heating up. Folks are taking to Twitter and other social media platforms, or X, and really trying to, put the hammer down on Walmart for these changes. I don't know. I think Walmart is kind of like the big bully in the schoolyard, and they know that they can kind of throw their weight around. But what do you guys think? Additionally, medical debt is a huge problem and is putting the squeeze on millions of middle-class Americans. While Washington, we have a problem. Wildfires in Washington, hurricanes in California, you got Hillary circling around, making landfall on Los Angeles, on top of all the destruction and devastation that we've seen here recently, unfortunately for the people of Maui, Lahaina, and the unjust and crazy corruption and conspiracy theories that are floating around about what's going on in Hawaii. 8% mortgages, yeah, that's a thing. And a new update from the TSA about travel and possible restrictions. So this was a very alarming video that I came across. So actually a viewer sent to me, a subscriber sent to me, so I appreciate that, on YouTube, talking about this new TSA law, rule, regulation. I don't think TSA can make laws, but they kind of pretend like they are police. And apparently this reinstatement of this mandate is supposed to happen soon. And we really need to talk about that. But first, let's talk about Target. Let's talk about Walmart and how they have been warning shoppers. I don't know if it's a good thing when, like, there's certain places I want to get warnings from. I don't think I want to get warnings from a place that I'm going to shop and spend money with. And the retail giants have more problems than conservative shoppers being upset over the sale of some of their merchandise. So we're going to talk about that. And I'm going to read to you what it says here. This actually says that Target pulled their Pride merchandise in June after a right-wing backlash full of unsubstantiated claims of grooming and child endangerment filled the conservative corners of social media. Now, obviously, we already know what type of person and their views the author of this context here, but we also need to realize and remember that, hey, we are approaching the next election. So this is going to be like standard operating procedure from this point moving forward. So during the Target's chain second quarter earnings call, Chief Executive Brian Cornell noted that the boycotts had hurt sales. And he explained why Target, stock ticker symbol TGT, if you want to see just how bad their stock is doing today, pulled Pride merchandise from its shelves in response to the right-wing outcry. He also noted that Target has featured Pride collections for a decade. Now, I don't know, maybe they have, maybe they just kind of kept them hidden in the back or locked in a closet somewhere. But what do you guys think? Have you guys stopped shopping at Target because of this? Do you think that if Target makes this change and they try to pretend like it didn't happen, would you then start shopping at Target again? But it says that after the launch of the assortment this year, members of our team began experiencing threats and aggressive actions that affected their sense of safety and well-being while at work. And he also said, I want to make it clear, We denounce violence and hate all kinds, and the safety of our team and our guests is our top priority. And to ensure, end quote, that was it. To ensure that safety, the company was forced to make some changes to its store shelves. Interesting. It says, another quote, to protect the team in the face of these threatening circumstances, we quickly made changes, including the removal of items through the center of the most significant confrontational behavior, end quote. So that controversy and the related boycotts were not what caused, apparently, the chain to see comparable store sales drop 5.4% and overall sales fall 4.9%. Cornell is blaming shifting consumer habits. But I think the shift in consumer habits may be the shift in the consumer's habits to buy from retailers that do things like what they did, maybe. But either way, I think there is a shift in habits, as we can see that Kid Rock is now back to drinking Bud Light beer after shooting up cases on social media. Meanwhile, Walmart and Target continue to have this theft problem, with both Walmart and Target having experienced a rise in theft. And again, we've seen the news headlines and stories. You saw the video I put up the other day with a little bit of a trip down memory lane of Walmart CEO, Brian, oh man, what was his name? What the hell's his name? Doug McMillon. I almost forgot his name for a minute. Doug McMillon. And how he was talking about the crime and ultimately how prices are going to go up and stores are going to close, which both happened. And that may be part of what the warning is that they're initiating to their customers or previous customers, because they're probably not going to stick around with these boycotts going on. But Target sees increases in theft and violence too, so they're not immune. Oh man, excuse me. All right, just making sure there wasn't another one. So it says that while McMillan in recent calls has softened his tone on the theft and shrink problem, Cornell with Target took up the cause during his company's most recent call. And quote, and unfortunately, safety incidents associated with theft are moving in the wrong direction. And during the first 5 months of this year, our stores saw a 120% increase in theft incidents involving violence or threats of violence. End quote. It's getting bad out there, y'all. Getting worse. Walmart and Target face similar problems, but only one is thriving. Do you know which one that is, or can you guess? So it says here that Target and Walmart posted sharply divergent fiscal second quarter results and offered starkly different outlooks for their months ahead. So yeah, and Walmart's online sales in the US rose in the 3 months period, while Target's fell. Okay. And the contrasting results illustrate some of the company's fundamental differences, but also capture how some retailers have more success than others. So again, can you tell which one's making more money or which one's losing more money? Or which one would you rather see if you had your choice? If you had your choice of whoever was going to make the most or the least and ultimately survive or potentially go bankrupt and have to close all its doors, would you rather have Walmart stick around, or would you rather have Target as your only option? Meanwhile, Walmart, the nation's largest grocer, makes more than half of its annual revenue from selling groceries, a category that the shoppers buy even while times are tight. I don't know if they're going to get any tighter than they are now, or they have been any tighter than they are now, because I can guarantee you they're going to get tighter. But Target draws only about 20% of its yearly revenue from grocery, making it rely more on sales of items such as clothing, the same clothing that they had to pull from their shelves, earrings and throw pillows that customers may skip when feeling frugal, which is probably why they put it front and center and they put the grocery in the back of the store. So you got to walk through the other stuff to get to the food. Some Targets, I think, have multiple entrances, but most of them have just like one. Whereas Walmart, you can pick and choose if you want to go to the grocery side, if you want to go to the home side or the garden side. But Target, which tends to draw a more affluent customer than Walmart, may also be seeing a more dramatic swing in spending as consumers shell out on Taylor Swift tickets and European vacations instead. Those shoppers could also be trying to balance splurging on services with shopping at places perceived to be cheaper, such as Walmart or TJ Maxx, Marshalls, Home Goods, which posted year-over-year sales and profit growth earlier this week. So that may be a good one to get into if you want to see some gains in the stock market for my beginning investor folks out there. So, yet Target and Walmart's contrasting results also capture how some retailers are having more success than others catering to these fickle consumers and navigating economic headwinds. But it says that Walmart's making an unpopular change to self-checkout. And Walmart is bringing ads to an aisle near you as retailers. In a recent announcement from Walmart explains there will be more ads added to Walmart's self-checkout kiosks, while Walmart is launching targeted, not targeted, like they're laser focused. Walmart is probably going to be using facial recognition when you walk in the door and different things like that, AI and tech, all the cameras they got. And Walmart is launching targeted in-store ads at its checkouts. Walmart shoppers will have more ads to check while they check out. And I'm sure that Walmart will be checking them out while they check out because they got the cameras overhead. But what they're going to do is this is going to be maybe. It says that Walmart's new in-store advertising initiatives are selling ad spots on screens and in the store's audio feed, okay? So you're gonna hear it over the radio when you're walking down the aisle, you're gonna hear it in the parking lot before you even enter in the building or after you leave, or you run out because there's been a mass shooting inside of a Walmart or something crazy like that, or somebody setting aisles on fire. You never know what's gonna happen inside of a Walmart at any time. But odds are these are gonna be the most innovative and effective forms of targeted advertising and marketing. And here's why. Typically, marketing and advertising, you want to have some sort of trackable link or pixel or some way to count the conversions and gauge and judge the effectiveness of the advertising. So you can quantify the landed costs per customer. So billboards were probably the worst. Billboards and radio ads, because most people, you couldn't really track it. Maybe like a postcard flyer in the mail or something, you can put a special phone number on it. But the other ones, really hard to track. Then we moved on to Google ads and different things like that, and they had links associated. But when you're walking through the store, it's really hard to really quantify and justify the effectiveness of advertising as it manipulates shoppers and pulls money out of their pockets. Remember, I told you Walmart has found more ways to get customers and shoppers to spend more money. So what we're going to see more than likely in these self-checkout areas and kiosks from this new advertising initiative with Walmart is ads popping up on the screen during the self-checkout. And obviously they're going to be able to track how long you watch the ad, or if you skip the ad, or if you end up making a purchase because of the ad. And more than likely there'll be digital purchases that'll automatically add to your receipt or your invoice there before you pay. And when you check out, you won't have to go get anything. It'll just be a digital purchase, or it'll be waiting for you when you get to the parking lot through the pickup area. So they're gonna simplify it and make it super convenient for you to spend your money, okay? The money that a lot of people just don't have, okay? So in addition to seeing how long you watch or if you convert, they're watching the shoppers as they check out. And this is more about the advertising than it is about convenience. This is more about the advertising than it is about keeping people employed as regular checkout cashiers, because without this self-checkout, which they've been pushing for decades now to get to this point, they're not going to be able to execute on this strategy. And the next phase, from what I'm hearing, is going to be far worse than this phase. But This phase is also going to have facial recognition. So obviously they want to make sure that people aren't stealing and scamming in the self-checkout area, but they're going to use the facial recognition to use AI to ultimately judge and gauge the effectiveness, the emotion, the feel, the mood of the ads. Then cater these ads to the consumer based on their emotional feedback that they don't actually really say or give in a survey or questionnaire, so that they'll know which ads are going to be most effective by and large the data that they receive. That's step one. Step two, or phase two, would then be they're going to track you through the store so that when you get to the checkout, it's going to be a personalized checkout experience based on your face, based on your eyes and all your features. So, and I don't think even sunglasses will protect you from being spotted. They're going to track you through the store so that you'll have a personalized checkout experience with ads that they know are going to be 99% effective against you because of all the data and research that they've collected. And that's only phase two. That's only phase two. Even worse, we got US banks denying access to customers' funds and freezing their accounts. Again, leaving customers in dire financial straits, and customers at a $1 billion US bank, billion with a B, say they have been unable to access their funds for days and weeks at a time. So it says that Green Dot Bank, which offers banking and debit card services to people who shop at Walmart, is accused of giving the runaround to a group of customers who are essentially locked out of their accounts. Now, I don't know if this has anything to do with Walmart, but it says that it's a service for people who shop at Walmart. But this is similar to the video I put up a little while ago about Chime and how these banking and debit card services pretend to be banks. So if you haven't seen that video, you might want to go check it out after this one. It says that the bank, which has 33 million customers, initially said account balances and transactions were impacted by an issue with a payment processing partner. Always got to shift the blame, you know what I'm saying? Now the bank says its systems are fully up and running, but customers say the problems still persist. At a time of publishing this web outage tracker, Up-Down Radar, which is probably similar to Down Detector, reports a possible outage at Green Dot Bank with complaints in the comments section coming in by the hour. Now I'm kind of curious. I might go grab one of those green dot cards from Walmart and see if I can put a few bucks on it and see if I have any issues. You guys want to know how that works out? Or do you guys have Green Dot? Have you had any issues? Wells Fargo's not immune from their troubles and issues and complaints from customers, but they're also disappearing because, you know, if there's a problem, just run away from it. Wells Fargo's bank branch is starting to disappear. They're closing down. Wells Fargo is America's fourth largest bank. Its consumer banking unit is one of the most significant revenue and profit drivers of the bank's success. Today, Wells Fargo has over 5,000 branches. AI and robotic technology will allow Wells Fargo to cut hundreds of these locations or eliminate most of the humans who work in them. Online banking has been a threat to physical locations for years. New trends are about to make the challenge to those locations even worse. So get ready, folks. No more brick and mortar banks, okay? Most of the work done at bank branches does not have to happen at physical locations or locations with human beings. AI-driven robots can already do most of what is done at teller windows. Banks are not alone in this. The process has begun at retailers and also will overwhelm the fast food industry. And I have to agree with them here because AI is literally taking over. And I've actually had some experiences with some job opportunities that literally include managing AI to do the work of many because of my particular skill set and my track record, history, and my resume, and being able to engage with this technology and leverage it for its strengths. It's this crazy state of affairs. This is the economic shift and cycle that we were talking about. Again, another video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Part of what goes on in banks is loan applications evaluated by humans. Now, this is the kicker here. Some of these are business loans. Others are mortgages or car loans. AI-assisted evaluations of loan risk, credit scores, and the collection of information needed to evaluate loans will be handled by software-driven programs by AI. The software can even evaluate collateral at physical locations like factories and homes using technology that includes drones. Drones. Similar to how they're using drones in California to spy on a homeowner's insurance policyholders to terminate their policies. Drones. The AI can deploy a drone to check and spy on you, but the AI probably already knows more than you've ever told it through the data that it has access to, already being tied into the network, tied into the matrix, basically. So ultimately, loans, which are becoming less and less likely to be approved anyway, this is all by design, this is all part of their plan, for cars and mortgages and personal loans and business loans. Now you can no longer even have the emotional connection or even write that personal letter and explain why, you need this or whatever, to go to the underwriter to get an approval if you're like on the fringe, But yet another reason branches exist is to help rich customers. I'm only reading what's here, folks, okay? Take a look at the screen, that's it. The marketing pitch so far for so-called personal banking services is that rich people need their hands held as they get advice about investing their assets and debt. AI can do a much better job based on a series of financial calculations that humans cannot do. Assets can be scanned and their values set by optics that do not require humans. This is it. It's like you're going to have robots everywhere. I don't know if they're going to take over pawn shops because that's not where the rich go, but literally they're going to be able to appraise and set values and determinations based on the prices that they've already set. And then they can control the market because they already know. And in April 21, so that was just a few months ago, bulletin from the Office of the Comptroller of Currency, the OCC, PNC announced it would close 30 more branches across 7 states: Alabama, Florida, Illinois, Maryland, Ohio, Texas, and Virginia. And this brings the total closures for 2023 up to around 203 PNC banks closing, according to estimates from the Pittsburgh Business Times. I'm just sharing with you guys the news. That's it. Don't shoot the messenger, okay? This is the end of an era for mortgage rates at mortgages now nearly topping 8%. 8%. Crazy on top of the already crazy high prices. The end of an era. And the Federal Reserve has closed the door on the era of super low interest rates. The Federal Reserve has closed the door on the era of super low interest rates over the past year and a half. And the new reality has jolted the housing market. Home sales have fallen sharply since 2021, and homeowners reluctant to give up their super low locked-in mortgage rates have staged a seller's strike, boycotting this housing market, reverse housing market crash. And housing affordability has emerged as a persistent challenge. Much like the basic cost of living crisis that we have here, this insolvency nightmare, this liquidity crisis, this housing thing is getting to be a real pain, a real nuisance. And the last time U.S. mortgage rates topped 7.3% was in May of 2001. Yeah, that was a while ago. The U.S. economy was in a very different place. The median home price was a quaint $156,000, according to the National Association of Home Builders, Wells Fargo Affordability Index, and the typical family income was a modest $52,500 before tax. Facebook didn't even exist yet. Big tech was in its infancy, and Alan Greenspan presided over the Federal Reserve as the reserve master of financial markets. So we can really see here that the progression of technology ultimately coincides with the downfall of housing affordability, income, and basic cost of living. Like, that's that K-shaped recovery that everybody's talking about. Make a K. Kind of hard to do that. Median home prices today, far from the 156,000. We're now at over $348,000. And that's actually up from last year too. And if you're in a home and you don't own it, then you do have to realize that eviction is a possible likely scenario. Whereas if you own it or making payments on it, then foreclosure would be the route, the terminology that we would use. But it says that people are being evicted left and right. Even this woman here being evicted from a $300,000 home of 26 years despite paying off her mortgage. So I guess once you get foreclosed on, then you get evicted. But if you're just renting, it's just immediate eviction, okay? But it says that the city sold it from under her over a $3,000 tax debt. Yeah, and I've actually seen reports and claims from other states of people just building on other people's land. They don't even own it. They just start building on it. And then they have this, legal battle. Odds are they got some buddies in the county or in the city or in the state that can kind of like, help them out with some liens and, get that property foreclosed on. But, it's a backdoor deal, basically. Meanwhile, unfortunately for the folks in Hawaii, they are also feeling the pain of eviction on top of everything else. Lahaina's mayor's eviction notices for homeowners, as the mayor of Lahaina is evicting people whose houses didn't get burned down and those who still have houses, forcing them to move. And I'm just sharing with you guys here what's being shared with me by you all. I really do appreciate y'all sending these to me to include in these videos. So thank you very much. Reports emerge of tenants being evicted from their homes. An eviction notice to a Lahaina resident whose home was not destroyed by the recent wildfires. She received that on August 15th. And Maui locals worry. They worry about a lot, but they're also worried that they'll be priced out after the wildfires. So if they didn't get evicted and they're still around, they know what's coming next. The big money's coming in, big tech's coming in, money's coming in, institutional investors. They got a whole plan for it. It's really jacked up. I'm working on a video to bring to you guys about that, but it's really screwed up. It really is. Meanwhile, the alternative may seem like a little bit of a stretch, but again, what you guys have shared with me, and that is that, affordability and tiny homes is kind of like the new way to go now. Kind of like picking up steam again from a few years ago. And a few years ago, it was more of like minimalist, getting out of debt and, just striving for, zero debt and super affordability, building something on your own, this, that, and the other. But now it's like a necessity because you can't afford a house, like a regular house. So you got to get a tiny house. And it says that Lowe's is selling a tiny house for $944 and it won't rot like wood. So kind of hard to beat that. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what I wanted to talk to you guys about from the beginning of the video. And it's a little concerning from what I'm seeing here and what I'm hearing, what I'm watching, what you guys are sharing with me. I don't know for certain, but I do know what I found, okay? And what I found says that there are potential likelihoods of lockdowns beginning in September from TSA whistleblowers. So I want you guys to chime in below. Let me know your thoughts on this and ultimately what this could mean moving forward. Obviously, this is going to be a power grab and trying to assert more control, much like YouTube has done with my channel here recently and suppressed my content. So I don't even know if anybody's going to see this video. But if not, or if you do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Most importantly, drop your comments below. I want to know what you guys think. I want to know what you guys are feeling, but also share this video with friends and family. I hope you guys have a great, amazing, and a fantastic day.